Hello, my name's Brandan Shur, and today I'm going to be speaking about farming. The hot summer sun was especially rough when rushing to harvest 2,000 pounds of peaches. Waking up at 6 in the morning still wasn't enough time to get ahead on all of the orders. However, the heat is the only delay that would happen this July. As a 10-year-old boy, my father relied on me to be his right-hand man and help with the orchard tasks on our 65-acre farm at all times. With our orders lined up through the door, he was stressed to fill them and have enough money for our bills to keep food on our family's table. While working at his side this day, I look over at him and see him collapse on the orchard floor. My heart almost came out of my chest as I watched my father suffer a severe heart attack, and it was up to me to quickly learn the ins and outs and the importance of strength needed to support agriculture. This was especially so to keep food on my family's table and keep my father's legacy alive. As a young boy, I never understood why my father chose a path of a farmer. At first, I always thought he did it for the money, but after many days of empty wallets, counting quarters to pay bills, I certainly learned this was not the case. You see, he chose the life of a farmer because he truly enjoyed this route. It was the excitement, the uncertainty, and the honor of bringing food to thousands of people's tables each year, and the joy of being able to feed families and watch smiles come on everyone's faces. It took an important lesson in my life to learn that this was his true reason and money was never the case. After my father had a severe heart attack in the middle of the peach season, it was 2006, which left him hospitalized for 15 days. Does anyone know what could happen to a peach orchard that's left alone for 15 days? Well, as a young boy, I didn't either, but I knew it wouldn't be good. My father told me when I visited him 2 days later, "Bran, please be the man of the house. It's your time to shine." And for me being a young boy to hear this from my dad, it was a surreal moment and very terrifying to me. Once I made it back home, instead of worrying about my sisters, I immediately started picking peaches from the trees and finished all of the orders we had. I got my dad's cell phone and tried to find all of his contacts and call them and tell them the fruit could not be delivered on time. I did this because I didn't want him to have any people that would be mad at our business or mad at my father. When they asked why I couldn't fulfill the orders, I simply told them I wasn't old enough to drive yet. I definitely had a few people hang up on me, and we never heard from them again, but a few people understood, and we still do business with them today. Once I picked the fruit, I realized we still had 6 weeks left of fruit ripening on the trees, and I knew nothing about maintaining the trees. Instead of giving up, I began watching videos online, and these videos showed the right way to pick the fruit, store fruit, spray, and even drive a tractor, which as a young boy I wasn't allowed to, but it was really nice imagining that I could. I began to retain all this information, but instead of slowly learning over a college degree for several years, it came pouring down onto me before I was even a teenager. Next, I called another local peach orchard with a friendly owner whose name was Bob Leonard. This local grower became a great mentor in my life along with my father. With a small tractor and seat adjustments, he taught me how to operate this, maintain the sprays on the trees, calibrate a sprayer, and even pull behind a trailer. He'd stop by every morning at sunrise, and I'd meet him there for a new lesson. He would drive me through his orchard and also take me through my father's orchard and give me tips and tricks to keep our legacies alive. The guidance he gave me was unusual, mainly because he treated me like an adult. After 2 weeks, my father was released from the hospital but required a long road to recovery. I haven't seen him, and he hadn't seen me since I visited him 10 days ago. When he was coming down the driveway, he seen his 10-year-old son sitting on a tractor, and he almost had another heart attack. To the best of his ability, he yelled to me, and I turned off the engine. He asked me, "Where'd you learn to do that? What do you think you're doing?" And I simply replied, "I'm working." Now that my dad was home, he would slowly walk outside every morning or sit in a rocking chair and give me a new lesson to learn. I told him that the farm can't fail and needs to continue so our family can have money. He chuckled and smiled at me, and he told me, "Son, We don't have a problem with money. I have food on our table. I'm happy, and I hope the whole family's happy. I farm because someone has to help others. This changed my perspective on working on the land. The next day, when he asked me if I'm ready to work, I said, "No, Dad, I'm ready to feed others." By the 2008, my father had completely recovered and we planted another 500 trees. Then the following year, another 500 trees continued to keep growing. Now, in the year 2020, I'm almost 20 years old, have taken personal investments on the farm, and now I'm going on my bachelor's in horticulture degree, which all this started from my father forcing me to learn through a very hard time in my life. Through the most painful moments of my life, I feel guided into a bright future filled with agriculture. Thank you.